everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to take a look at the Transformers Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee Creatures Collide 4-pack. So as you can see, of course, this pack has 4 figures in it, so we'll be doing a review for each individual figure. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the Goldbug figure, a direct repaint remold of the Netflix Bumblebee, which is a pretty good figure, and I do have in my collection, and I will be making several comparisons with in this video. So of course, let's take a look at the packaging, and stay tuned for the reviews for these other 3 figures, Ransack, Skywarp, and Scorponok. So the artwork here, of course, we have Goldbug and the other 3 Decepticon and Predacon figures looking super cool, and this really nice artwork with some city and bridges looking really nice and really well done. We have the Legacy logo, we have, of course, their names, Creatures Collide, Buzzworthy Bumblebee, and if we just flip it to the side here, we do have Bumblebee, RC, and Mirage, and I do apologize, the box is very long, so I have to quickly spin this around for you to see the back. So as we can see on the back, we have all the product shots of their robot and alt modes. So 20 steps for Goldbug, 14 steps for Ransack, 20 steps for Skywarp, and 25 steps for Predacon Scorponok. So that's pretty much it for the packaging. Let's now get into this review. So here we have Autobot Goldbug in his really cool looking robot mode. Let's take a look at the details. Starting at the very top with that head sculpt. If you're familiar with the Shatterglass line, this is actually the exact same head sculpt that was on the Shatterglass Goldbug, which I will bring out in just a second for a robot mode comparison, so stay tuned for that. Let's take a look at the details. Some nice blue for the helmet section, some lighter blue for the visor, and of course some silver for the mouth plate, looking very cool. For the arm here, some nice shiny gold for the shoulder, some more darker yellow and gold for the forearm, and some blue for the hands. Getting to the chest, nice Autobot symbol there. I wish it was a little bit bigger, done in red with some nice shiny yellowish gold, some tinted gray and blackish windows, looking very cool. Getting to the lower legs, some more gold, yellow, and of course you can see the front of the Volkswagen Bug looking very cool with the silver for the front bumper and the lights, looking very nice. And going to the back, of course, this is the shield slash back of the car with the bumper there, the lights, the license plate, some more windows done in that nice tinted grayish black. And overall, detail-wise, it is very simple, but actually looks super cool. So let's now get into the accessories. So he does come with the exact same ones that came with Netflix Bumblebee and the other versions of this mold. So he does come with that shield feature. You can actually store this a separate way. So I have seen people rotate this around and just do it like this, which I think is a little bit more accurate to how he usually looks in the cartoons. It sticks up a little bit more. I typically will pose it the other way, but you can do this if you want. So from a side view, you can do that if you want to. And of course, you can use this as a shield, so just separate it from the back, get this peg, bring it down, and you can put this in his hand just like that. I know people don't like this feature because it is considered parts forming, but I actually think it looks pretty cool. He also does come with the exact same bazooka, which looks very cool. So you can just plug this in his hand. So now he is fully armored up, ready for battle against the Decepticons. And I think that looks pretty nice. And it still does have that same feature where you can separate them and turn them into those pistols. And I'll show you that in just a second. Overall, that looks quite nice. So let's now get into those pistols. So I'm just going to take his shield, put that off to the side, get his bazooka out of his hand, and separate those pieces. So what you're going to want to do is take this back piece off, separate it just like that. There we go, separate these. And then you're going to want to get one of these little clip side pieces and plug it into this other blaster. And it really forms like the ammo clip for the blaster. So you can just plug this in his hand. Same on the other side, just like that. And for this piece right here, there is a tab, and there is a slot in the shoulder right there. Of course, you can do either one, and this will just tab into place right there. And that's really supposed to be like a shoulder blaster or something like that, which I typically do leave off the side, but you can if you want to. And you can also get the shield piece and put it on his back again to have the full look. So there we have him, armored up again with those blasters, which looks pretty cool. But I actually probably prefer the bazooka look. So there we have all of his accessories stored on him, which looks quite nice. Let's now get into articulation. So I'm just going to take all of his accessories off just so they're not in the way or anything, so we can have the full articulation shown. Just put these off to the side. I'm also going to take the shield piece off so we can have the full articulation. So for the head, it can rotate all the way around. The chest can actually hinge back. Also, the arm can rotate all the way around. It can go out and swivel at the forearm, elbow bend, forward and back to a very good degree. The hand has rotation. He also has a waist swivel. can kick that far out, that far forward, that far back. Also a knee bend, pretty good degree, and a slight swivel and an ankle pivot to a very good degree. And that's pretty much it for articulation, details, and accessories. Let's now get into some comparisons. Starting off our comparisons, here we have the Shatterglass Goldbug and the Transformers Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee Goldbug. And as you can see, of course, the similarity-wise, the head sculpts are the exact same thing, and I honestly think it works better on the Buzzworthy Bumblebee Goldbug than the Shatterglass one. Getting into some more similarities, of course, they come with the exact same accessories, and of course, the arms are the exact same design, but getting into the more fine differences, the feet, as you can see, they do have a different vehicle mode, and of course, the back shield piece is completely different, because the Goldbug here is using the Netflix Bumblebee, and this one is using the Cliff Jumper mold. So there is some similarities and some differences, but overall, two pretty cool looking figures. I honestly prefer the head sculpt in this figure more than that one. Let's take him up to the side and get another quick comparison. Here he is with Netflix Bumblebee. So as you can see here, really where they're similar is the car pieces and the arms, of course. Arm is the exact same sculpt. The head sculpt is completely different. As you can see, the accessories are the same. And getting to the feet, as you can see, sculpt-wise, they're the exact same thing, because they both turn into that Volkswagen Bug, which is a pretty cool-looking vehicle. And moving to the back, this back shield piece is, of course, the same, which looks pretty cool. As you can see, of course, the color is very, very different. I think I probably prefer this shinier gold over this kind of orange-yellow color, in my personal opinion. But that's pretty cool looking figures. Let me know in the comment section down below which one do you like more, the Netflix Bumblebee or the Goldbug. Let's move on to some more comparisons. And now for one final comparison. Here we have all the mini-bots that I have in my collection, which is really cool. There is a lot, and I think it looks super awesome. Let's go down the list, of course. This is the Bumblebee from the Worlds Collide Target exclusive pack from last year. This is Hubcap, a select figure. This is the Netflix Bumblebee, of course, from the exclusive Walmart line. This is, of course, Goldbug, the one we're reviewing right now from the Creatures Collide Target exclusive. This is the Shatterglass Goldbug, a Hasbro Pulse exclusive. This is another Selects Bug Bites, and of course the very original first one, Cliff Jumper from the Earthrise Wave 1 line. And this looks so crazy. Of course, they all have many similarities and differences. I think probably my favorite three would have to be Bug Bites, Goldbug, and Netflix Bumblebee. Those are probably my favorite. Between all of these, of course, for all of these, which one is your favorite? Let me know in the comment section down below. Let's now get into the transformation into the vehicle modes. What you're going to want to do is get the arms, just rotate these back just like that. Do the same thing, of course, with the other arm. Rotate that back. You can then open the chest piece up. You can then flip up this panel to cover the face. You can then bring these panels out to the side, and then you're just going to want to make sure this whole section goes in just like that. You can then rotate like this, and then what you can do is go back here, get these panels, hinge these out just like that, and then what you're going to want to do is here is hinge this down, have these to the side, and then you will pretty much hinge this whole leg like this and bring this forward, all while making sure these panels go to the back like this. So there we go. Bring this back just like that, and then what you can do is go under, bring out the wheels just like this, and then it's just a matter of pretty much tabbing everything else and just tab these on the side, pretty much everything nice and secure just like this. And then I'm going to show you the weapon mode first. It's sort of a weaponized car, so you just need to hinge the arms up like this. Do the same thing, of course, with the other arm. Hinge this up, just like that. And then what you're going to want to do is get the shield piece. Make sure this peg is faced out like this. And then, of course, you can get these two pegs and plug them into the hands, just like that. And there we go. And then what you're going to want to do is make sure the weapons are in the bazooka form. There is a whole slot section right there, and it's going to plug into that peg inside there. So just plug that into place, and there we have Bumblebee in his really cool weaponized vehicle mode. And of course I'll show you the normal vehicle mode in just a second. Just wanted to quickly show you, of course, this feature was originally from the Netflix Bumblebee version, which you can still do with this one, which is, it's an okay mode. It does look a little bit odd with the back of the car kind of sticking up like that, but I think it looks kind of cool. Of course, if you wanted to, you could plug a blaster piece right there, so it looks like he's firing a giant missile out of that bazooka or something. That looks pretty cool. And he can still actually roll very, very well, so that looks quite nice. So let's now get into the just standard, of course, vehicle mode. So what you're going to do is just separate the bazooka, put that off to the side, take the shield off, just like this. Just wiggle it off. Sometimes it can be a little bit hard. And then you can get the arms, just hinge these down into their normal position, just like this. Hinge this down, just like that. And then you can tab it in the same way. Just make sure the peg is folded in this time. So just plug that in, just like that. Make sure that's nice and secure. Everything is squeezed, and there we have him in his really cool looking Volkswagen Bug mode, which looks actually really, really cool. Let's take a look at the details. Of course, we have that nice gold paint all over, really shiny and nice. Looks really cool. That Autobot symbol there, and again, I think that Autobot symbol is a little bit too small. Looks kind of weird, but overall looks pretty cool. Of course, the nice wheels there. Really glad those are not mushroom peg wheels. Some nice silver and black. Of course, for all the wheels, looks quite nice. Unfortunately, sometimes it takes a little bit of force to tab everything together. The front, of course, this nice bumper section with silver, also, of course, the headlights. And on the back, we have the windows and the sides, of course, done in that nice tinted gray-black. We have the, I'm assuming, of course, the license plate there with some lights there, that back bumper. And overall, a really simple-looking vehicle mode, but actually a really cool-looking one. So let's now get in one quick vehicle mode comparison. Here he is with the Netflix Bumblebee. As you can see, of course, sculpt-wise, they're the exact same thing. Really just down to that deco and paint apps. And as you can see, of course, the Autobot symbol is actually at the front now, and of course on this one is at the very top. But two really cool looking vehicle modes, and it's really just up to your own personal preference. I probably prefer this one over the Netflix one, really just like that nice gold to it. Looks very, very cool. So that's it for that quick comparison. So now let's get into the other way you can store the accessories. So what you want to do is, of course, get the bazooka, and you can just separate everything. Just take everything apart, take the clips off the side, separate everything. And what you're going to want to do is get this piece here, unfold it, and there is a port there, and of course a peg right here. Plug that into place, just like that. And I typically do not tab these little sections in. There's, of course, slots and tabs there. I typically don't tab them in because they're actually very flimsy, slim pegs, and I do not want to break them, so I typically leave it untapped. That's just my personal preference. Of course, there is a slot, and there is a tab. You're just going to tab that into place and use it as sort of a rocket booster for the vehicle mode, which I thought was a pretty cool feature with the Cliff Jumper one. I'm really glad they still do that now. Of course, same thing on the other side. Tab it in. And then here's a reference to the G1 show, I'm pretty sure it was Cliff Jumper, and one of the episodes, they were like in the Antarctic, and he had little plates under his tires so he could easily ski across the snow, which is a pretty cool little feature they kept with this one, which is quite nice, so he can kind of glide across your table, which is pretty cool. And a nice feature is if you wanted to have him have blasters facing forward, you could actually just swap these and have them face forward, so he has blasters shooting at the Decepticons, which is a pretty cool little feature. So nothing much has changed really, just the boosters, of course, the little tire pieces, and of course this bottom piece, which I'm not really sure what it's supposed to be, maybe just an under-car missile piece. You could use your imagination, but overall a really cool looking armored vehicle mode, which looks quite nice. But that's pretty much it for the vehicle mode. Let's now get into the final thoughts for the Transformers Legacy Buzzworthy Bumblebee Creatures Collide Goldbug. Let's start with the vehicle mode. I actually really do like the nice gold they put over the entire figure. I kind of wish the Autobot symbol on top, of course this is for the vehicle mode and the robot mode, I wish it was a little bit bigger. It looks kind of small, almost kind of looks like a sticker. I do like the nice silver for the headlights, the bumper of course in the front and back. I also do like all the small little details like the license plate, the back lights, and the windows. I do like how they're tinted so you can't see much kibble on the inside. Transformation is very simple, of course. It's the exact same transformation as all the other versions of this mold Cliff Jumper, Hubcap, Bug Bite, Netflix Bumblebee. If you have any of those figures, you know exactly what to do. I actually really do like the feature how you can store the bazooka in several different ways in the vehicle mode. Of course, you can do that sort of alternate missile bazooka car mode, or you can also store them on the bottom of the car as boosters. I'm not really sure what that bottom piece for under the car. I'm not really sure what it does, but I put it there anyway. You really can't even see it. But overall, really cool looking, very nice storage for the accessories. Let's now get into the robot mode. I love how you can, of course, have the bazooka and the shield. That actually looks super cool. If you're a long-time viewer of mine, you know I love my shields, and it really looks cool with him holding a giant bazooka with this, such a small figure. It actually looks really nice. Again, I kind of wish the symbol on his chest was a little bit bigger. It looks too small. I know it is a small figure, so they didn't want to oversize it and look weird, but I just think it's a little too small for my opinion. I do like, of course, you can store the shield in the back several different ways. You can have it the standard clip jumper way, or you can rotate it upside down, how I've seen people do it, because it's more accurate to how it usually looks in the cartoons. Of course, you can separate the bazooka to show for him to have pistols and dual wield them, which looks pretty cool. I typically store it in the bazooka mode, in my opinion. Articulation is very standard, of course. He actually has a forward and a backward elbow joint, which is actually pretty cool. With swivel, you know, typical ankle pivot, all that usual stuff. Pretty good articulation, exact same as Netflix Bumblebee and the other versions of this mold, so nothing unexpected. Overall, I think this figure is really good. I know a lot of people want this one because they weren't able to get the Netflix one. Which one do I like more, Netflix Bumblebee or this one? I'm actually not really certain. Probably, if I were to say right now, if I had to choose, I'd probably say this one. They really both have pluses and minuses. I think for the new head sculpt, I think this Goldbug uses it better than the Showerglass one. I think it just works more with this one. That's just my opinion. But overall, I think this figure is really good. So, of course, if you can get this pack, get this one. I know a lot of people are just selling the other 3 figures. Honestly, I think those are worth to be picked up too. And, of course, I will be reviewing those very soon over on the channel in their own reviews. So make sure you stay tuned for those figures coming very, very soon over on the channel. Let me know what you think of this Bumblebee in the comment section down below. And I think that's pretty much it. So I'll see you.